What's up guys, this is Shana and today we're gonna check out Fortune Centra in Kepong. Let's go! Some cool facts, I kind of started my real estate journey from Kepong itself because I was selling factories around Sungai Buloh. Therefore, when I was mingling around this area, there was no MRT, there was no new developments. But coming back today, I'm just very delighted because looking at the progress that this location has achieved. So there are several improvements, and number one would be definitely the MRT finally completed because it was built along Jalan Kepong, which was the main circulation for everyone to come in or go out from Kepong itself. And that time when the construction was taking place, it was insane. The traffic was always congested the entire day. Second thing, there are just a lot of new developments mushrooming around the lake, the metropolitan lake at the back, and you can see there are just a lot of mega structures behind that are more cost oriented, and that created this hype because in this location you have accessibility, you have job opportunities, you have proximity to KL itself because in this one road you can directly connect to Jalan Kuching already. Then you have the nature elements, you have the commercial convenience. So at the far end, that will be Jalan Kepong and the MRT station, and this will be Aeon Big, the hypermarket next to the development. And this is when landscape treatments immediately elevate the feel of the property. You see this one? Nothing, this one with a bit of trees, but suddenly this feels way more atas. And this is located at the intersection, and you can see the roads are just extremely busy. Right opposite then you have the conventional factories and industrial areas. So this particular project is also a mixed development where it consists of commercial lots. So what you can see there, it's a lot of shops around the ground floor area, and that makes sense because if you look into the entire topology of the surrounding, it's the same. Commercial lots are all at the ground floor. Restaurants, electronic stores, F&Bs, coffees. Wow. So we are now walking across the main drop-off, which is the internal road, right? This is where you can see the main crowds for this area will be Chinese. All the billboards, right, will just have a lot of Mandarin characters to them. Right? That's how you determine the market around here. And for the front portion, you have all these pavers for the roads, and these will be the shop fronts, some offices at the upper floor. And let's take on further. We are now at the residence drop-off, the other side of the drop-off for the commercial area, right? And this is indirectly the loading bay for all construction trucks as well. At the front, you will have the back end of the hypermarket, and this will be pretty loud, I think, on daytimes when they are loading up the stores. And just for specs, there are 3 blocks here, and in total there will be 462 units, and that's considered low density within this area. Just because at this front, this will be all the commercial lots, right? The back of house looks like this, okay? And this is in between the residence block above. So this is the feeling that you will get. Also, this is a leasehold project, okay? Let's go check out the unit. So in one floor, we can see there's 14 units. Then it's serviced by 2 lifts here and 2 lifts here. So this will be the fire escape. And this is a double loaded corridor where you have units on both sides. We'll check out the little voids here and how it affects the space. Coming up on the lift, this will be the lift lobby and very nice window at the end. The ceiling is rather low. And you will need to go through this fire door in order to come out. So it's really dwarfing. Right next to the lift lobby, this will be your refuse room. And this will be it. So it's a double door design. And it's rather small, in my opinion, for a floor plate that has 14 units. And they actually tie this 10Y design to be double door. So for the width of the corridor, this is 1.7 and it's 2.7 in terms of height. And with the long corridor, this will be the feeling. And when you have the voids in between, then this is some source of light and ventilation. And for typologies like this, the usual problems you have will be the echoes that is produced, right? Suddenly you have this, it bounces off, but because of the voids available, it gets reduced, right? And they use warm light, so when it's dark, it's really going to be very dark. So in this episode, the unit type we're going to check out will be type B1, 1001 square feet, and it's somewhat like a dual key unit. Okay, so when you come in for the foyer, this is one studio unit altogether, and this will be another 2-bedroom unit, and there's this very weird door here that I don't understand. Anyway, so they will have their own pantry on this master bedroom side if you're going to use it for a studio unit, just in case, because it wouldn't make sense if it's a master bedroom. Why need a pantry, right? Then when you come into the dining area, this will be a very big living space and kitchen. Then there will be an aircon latch here, and there's this empty corner here, which is awesome. Then there will be a common bathroom here shared between these 2 bedrooms. Coming into the unit here, there's a direct connection, right? And there will be 2 doorbells. It signifies that this is the dual key unit. And when we go in, there will be 2 doors. One door here, another door here, and this is those dual key that gives more options to the owner on how he wants to operate the unit. So in this larger unit, there will be 2 bedrooms, and the other one will be a studio unit, and that can be your principal bedroom as well. So coming into the unit, you will have your dining and living next to your balcony, and this will be the island. Wow, there's still an island. That's your dry kitchen, and you have a wet kitchen space connecting to your external balcony again. So this space here is really nice. So the rental currently for this 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom unit, it's going to be around 2,500, but this is the makeover unit. But for a normal unit, it's around 1,500 to 1,800, and the selling price currently is around 500-ish to 600,000. So the width of the living space from wall to wall is 2.8 meters connecting to the balcony, and the ceiling height is around 3 meters. And what you will get at the balcony will be an aircon latch, and so steel handrails, and this will be the view that you will get. I think the entire real estate market changed after this location was connected with the MRT station, because this location has always been packed with population because of its original attractiveness, which is the proximity to KL, and it was the initial location for settlements for a lot of families. And right after the MRT track location was announced, a lot of projects like this mushroom all around this location. So suddenly this location becomes packed with a lot of projects of such, where it's not as expensive. During launch, it's around 300 to 500,000. They're generally more affordable, all using the MRT as that USP. And it's really weird where after one door, why do you need another door here in order to connect to the next room? So this is rather weird. Maybe due to fire requirements or whatsoever, I'm not sure. But what's good is you have an island and a proper dry kitchen for a unit of such scale. And they're giving you tekka, hook and hob, backsplash, right? Then you have a basin. This is by Sorrento. And you have Schneider plug points, cabinet space and drawer spaces. Then next to that, I think this is added on by the team and the makeover guys. So because this is our materials, this is where you can have an extra outdoor space. I like that they give you that freedom to add in a compartment before going into your balcony space. This is a very luxurious balcony space because it still has this compartment where it can let you put in your washing machine. I do think this space is really nice. This can also be somewhat a storage area for you to put your mop, vacuum cleaner, broom, pail, and etc. So I like it. I like the external space of this unit. So just do some noise check. This is when the train is actually moving, and after you close the door, yeah, much better. Moving on to this corridor, there will be a shared bathroom here, and it will be full height wall tiles, a small window at the end, and this will be by Barrena Basin, and WC by Bahrain as well. So I think the space is sufficient, it's very walkable, and this will be shared by the 2 bedrooms. There you will have 1 bedroom here, another bedroom here, and this can nicely accommodate a queen size bed with its wardrobe, and you have a window. And the other room here, it's almost similar, just that the size of the window is way bigger, it's way brighter for this room. Again, you can accommodate a queen size bed along with your own wardrobe, bedside tables, and have still circulation space to walk around. So there will be tilings provided, the sides are quite nice, you have the tile skirtings as well, and you have door frames that are connected to the wall via this groove line, this shadow gap I like. And there will be this drop, and that is something I want to highlight as well. So you have this beam here, then you have that drop in terms of ceiling for the pipings to go through. How I wish it could have been thought through better, or maybe you just want to plaster ceiling this whole thing so it differentiates into this private zone. But that is if you're using it for your own setup for investment purposes. I don't think the tenant will mind that much. But overall, this is the unit with the 2 bedroom. We're going to head over to the studio unit, which is also your principal bedroom. And the way to go through it is via this foyer, and let's check it out. Clearance is only 800 mm to be exact, so that will be pretty challenging if you want to move bigger stuff into the unit, so please take note. And when you come into the space, immediately you have that full height wall tiles, a window for ventilation, shower screen, nice. Then you have this by Barreno, as well as the basin by Barreno. Coming out from the toilet, then you will have a pantry here. If you're going to split this unit up as a studio unit, because if this is the principal bedroom, I don't think you will need that pantry there. So from wall to wall, this is around 2.88 meters, and it feels exactly like a hotel suite. In order to accommodate the bathroom here, this edge here, it's not very nice in terms of bed position. Also, something to highlight would be the beams here that is rather thick. You can see this beam here right next to this king, right next to this wall. Once again, I don't understand the rationale for this door. Really, I seriously don't understand why do you need this door. If you think about running distance away from the edge here to this door, I do think it's sufficient. It needs to be within 10 meters from the end. But anyway, I like the window profile that allows you to look through the entire Kepong. There's this block view which is amazing. I like the fact that the balcony is stopped there instead of protruding out these If not, there will be a privacy issue. But I think that's a nice termination point. And for new investors who are trying to get into the game, then you start to think what's the difference between a 3 bedroom and a 3 bedroom in the layout of a dual key. So that's by adding another partition at the front, which is indirectly the foyer. The usage of the unit transformed drastically, where now I can rent out to 2 different parties. But before you purchase, you also need to think about what if I just rent out as a 3 bedroom, what would be that rate like? And this is the research work that you need to do as an owner. So we are now at the elevated car park, and you can see it's rather conventional. Where you have the beams and columns design, and it's weird where it's not as efficient. Like these are 3 car park lots which are efficient, but suddenly when you reach the center portion, it's not as effective, where you have side parking profiles like this which waste a lot of space, and that's something to highlight as well. That's the exit to the lobby, and you have this really tight space for cars to drive through, and I think that's really dangerous. But I like that the building is short enough where you have openings on both sides, so it's not as dark and you can still feel ventilation around. Just that the roads are really tight. Again, I would just reposition the columns here. So much space wasted. There's so much space. Okay, coming out from the lobby, this is our way to the facility deck via this narrow opening in the corridor. Can you actually believe this is the entrance into the facility deck, which is the centerpiece of the entire development. So at the ground floor you have the commercial lots and the entrance statements, right? Then above that you have the elevated car parks. At the top of the elevated car park you have these garden units as well. The units actually comes with extra space at the side here, and they have direct connection into the pool, which is nice, especially for the kids, right? So you have a space like this, and those connects directly to the unit. An outdoor space, so this gives you that landed living experience when you're staying in a condo. And the landscape here seems nice. You have several pools. You have the reflection pool, you have the kids wading pool. Then you have a little maze here that's formed using shrubs and all. Very nice. And you can really feel the breeze here. Next to the maze, then you will have this barbecue pit along with a pavilion. So this will be the area that your family and friends will be hanging out. That will be the children's playground. And something to highlight would be that amazing topography available in this site. When we talk about Jalan Kepong, the first impression will be Aeon Mall, which is around the corner. Now it's with this MRT track and shop offices in abundance left and right. That has been the main impression of Kepong whenever you think about the address. But seldom people think about the mountains and the amazing lake behind, because it's really hidden from all this urbanization. But the experience of walking around the facility deck is really pleasant. You feel the spaciousness really in contrast to the entire lobby and corridor experience. Look at the landscape treatments at the border. So this is also for safety. That prevents people from walking to the edge. And it dresses up the space really nicely. So you look at the densities of trees. Like the distance between trees are just really close. Also to provide some privacy away from the adjacent blocks. On the other side, we have this wonderful swimming pool, and you have this sunken sitting area, which is nice. I think this is not represented or expected at all during our walk in the corridor itself. At the edge of the pool, you have sitting areas. Then you have this little compartment here for your aqua gym, and you can look into the density of plantings around. So this is just to add in some privacy, because next to us you have a lot of residents. This is one nice detail at the edge of the pool. Pretty common that we always have this straight edge, and it's pretty dangerous, but it did something to it. Very nice. Then also you have this multi-purpose hall that is connected to this common kitchen or dining space, and this can be that venue for you to host gatherings with your family and friends. And when you open up the sliding doors at the side, it's all connected into the pool area, which is nice. And this will be the gym itself, so you have the structural beams and columns, just hindrance to the space, but all of them are facing the pool, and they dedicate out a landscape area in front of the cardio space. So you have one machine here. And I think that's all for this episode. It's now time for Sean Take 3 on 3. The first thing I really like would be the location of Kepong itself. That means the proximity to the city. Jalan Kepong all the way, you'll be connected to this roundabout that connects you to Jalan Ipoh and Jalan Kuching, and that brings you to Mont Kiara, KLCC very easily. But what's really cool about this location is that after effect of infrastructure improvement. So we are pretty familiar with addresses that starts from zero. Suddenly when you have all the infras in, only you slowly see the population coming up. But in this particular location, it's absolutely the other way, where it's already packed with population. Suddenly there's these new highways that are introduced connecting to the Bandar Sri Damansara over to this Kepong side as well. Then suddenly you add on this new MRT track that connects these to the rest of the world. And because of that, we witness a lot of brand new projects that are mushrooming around this location. Point number 2 would be the maturity of the market here. Again, somewhat related to point number 1, this is a location that has everything ready. Main roads are ready, schools are ready, commercial centers are ready. Basically, people have been living here for the longest time, and all the living aspects are just not a concern. And the third thing I like would be the design treatments. So this can be broken down into several parts. I think the first one would be the ground floor shop lots area, that extra space of landscape at the front and the back before the drop-offs, right? That just adds distinct differences in comparison to the older blocks. And it's really funny that with just some area of greeneries, right, the entire image of your building elevates so much. And that applies to the facility deck as well. Well, that is in comparison to the lobby and the corridor experience. Suddenly when you come to this facility deck, you are just amazed with the density of landscape. And for the unit itself, I like that within that build up, you still have a space for an island. Then you have a designated wet kitchen area before the balcony, and they connect the yard space behind, which is somewhat hidden from the rest of the space. I think that's really nice as well. Then for the three things I don't like for this area would be the congestion and noise and the density of projects around this address. Again, people like this location for its convenience, for its matured settings of having all commercial needs satisfied, and with the recent booming of the metropolitan lake as the next destination. At the perimeter of the lake, there's just a lot more project coming up, and it's all with these high numbers of units. There's more affordable oriented. Those usually are not an issue, but when you look into the existing infrastructure of that local road, right, there's just one in and one out kind of setting. That is the main pathways to all this development closer to the lake. And imagine all those just connecting into this Jalan Kepong. And Jalan Kepong has been infamous for its congestion due to the way it controls traffic, which is using traffic lights. Just because there's so many junctions of such connecting the inner part of Kepong into the main road, therefore this entire experience from Kepong to the roundabout connecting to Jalan Kuching, right, just consumes a lot of time because it's just jam-packed with cars and people. And yeah, the second thing I don't like would be the immediate surrounding of this site. Adjacent to this project will be the hypermarket as well as this phase one of whatever the developer did. So they share the same front name of Fortune, right? So it's most likely the same team that's building. But I like that this looks way higher end than the existing one, but there's this overlooking issue because everything are just so close, especially this side where you can see the adjacent apartments. These are the more concerning one. But if you are at the higher floors, you get the lake view, or if you're facing the other side, it's basically very, very clear. Well, that comes from the resident's point of view, but if you are driving around, right, it's just really busy because you have the existing warehouse, industrial areas at one end, and the other end you have all the commercial lots, and all typologies are the same, where ground floors for all buildings here are commercial settings. Hence, you just feel the intensity of traffic almost the entire day. And last of all, there are certain things in terms of design where I don't understand. In the unit, I don't understand that extra door within the main party wall between two units. I don't see the logic why you need it. Without that door, immediately the two-seater living room can accommodate a three-seater settee easily. That will immediately change the quality of the space. The second thing I don't like would be the structural system, and that includes the transition from the car park over to the unit as well. I think they want to do this because it saves cost, but sometimes you will just see a lot of wasted space within the car park area. They could have just easily shift the shape on the location of the column to accommodate more car park space. But instead of doing that, you end up with very weird things such as that very narrow road immediately after the lobby entrance. That is dangerous. And because you don't want to reshuffle the structural element, you have this narrow entrance from the lobby into the facility deck. I think that just spoils the whole experience of the facility deck. If not, this could have been the hero space. Also the floor layout design where it's double loaded on each side. So this is the more cost-oriented design. It just maximizes the efficiency of the floor layout. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention this is a mixed development. Therefore, the commercial areas downstairs most likely are sold to individuals. Therefore, there will be somewhat lack of control in the activities around ground floor. Just imagine if those areas are doing really well. You somewhat compromise your privacy and security as a resident, but it also adds convenience. But that's just something to take note, because if the whole area is still empty after 2 to 3 years, right, the impression of the property also not so good. And I think that's all for this episode. So shout out to Cozy Home for letting us check out this unit. And if you really like this episode, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.